Hello and welcome to today's video where we're going to cover GAM Esports as we preview the squads that are going to MSI 2024 in China. Vietnam definitely had a weird end of their season as more than half of the players, actually over 60%, were suspended at one point due to a match fixing scandal and investigation. GAM ended up having to swap out 3 different roles as a result, leaving themselves with, maybe only 2 actually. Elio, I think, actually is playing with them in spring. But the 2 carry roles were swapped out in the case of mid and AD carry. But GAM still found a way, as every team had struggles. GAM actually beat Vikings Esports, who had SFM come out of retirement to play at support in the loss. So it kind of goes to show you just how much of a mess it was in Vietnam. So GAM have been to international events time and time again. They're internationally competitive every time, except last year at MSI. So last year at MSI, they finished pretty much last. They lost to Rainbow 7 from Latin America in an upset by R7, and that was it for GAM. Now, they did end up going to Worlds, and they recovered and responded and got out of play-ins and went to the main event, going 2-5 there. But regardless, they still struggled at MSI in this tournament format. The last 2 years, Vietnam have been to an MSI. Last year, like I said, finished pretty much last. And then the year before, Saigon Buffalo got to Rumble stage and were very charismatic. A fun team to watch. And is now completely fallen apart. So, and is no more. But regardless, we have GAM again. So at 22.8 years old, we have 2 stalwarts on the top side of the rift that we know very well in Kiea and Levi. And then a rookie mid and, 3 players that are actually 3 plus the coach that have no international experience in this role. Kiea at 22 years old, had a 3.9 KDA, 8.4 CS per minute, 61.7 KP domestically. He is a dominant player domestically. He is world class when he gets to an international event. 1.65 damage divided by gold, which is pretty good. 22 gold share, almost 27 damage share. He essentially is the carry for this team. If you look at the damage output in the finals and leading up to it, Kiea was the difference maker. Playing a lot of Smolder top, which I thought was just an abomination when Photon played it, but Kiea is playing it quite a bit. On average, up almost 500 gold, 6 CS, 240 XP at 15 minutes. 25 solo kills and 12 champions, played in 40 games this year. His 3 most played are Rumble, Kesante, and Udyr. Internationally, he's 12-22 over his career. Had a 1.5 KDA, 8.1 CS per minute, 57.4 KP. He is, like I said, world class. He does stand his ground, and we'll go over that in this stat line. So 57 KP. So the KP doesn't change. The style of play for GAM really doesn't change as far as I'm incorporating Kiea. On average, at 15 minutes, he's behind 100 gold, up 2 CS, down 130 XP, has 13 solo kills in 34 games. So the 15-minute split is not that damning, to be honest. On average, he is in the middle of the road. And given that GAM tend to be the 1 seed for Vietnam, he is playing right in the main event at Worlds, and at least MSI last year was a struggle, but his world appearances, he was in the main event right away. He doesn't get to boost his stats necessarily against poor teams. Now, this past year, he did get 10 games in play-ins, but there are 34 games here to go over, right? So half of the games from this year, and then the other half were from MSI prior and Worlds in 2022. In the jungle, we have Levi. Levi is arguably the best... he probably is still the best minor region jungler, one of the best minor region players ever. He got some opportunities on JDG and 100 Thieves, never really formulated it into much, but has been constantly going to international events for GAM. So had a 5.1 KDA, 5.8 CS per minute, 75 KP. So 3 out of every 4 kills Levi's involved in. Nearly as much damage as he gets in gold. 18.3 gold share, 13.1 damage share. That is pretty standard with what we're seeing thus far. Down 50 gold, 1 CS, 85 XP. You'd like Levi to be ahead at 15 minutes. This is very different than what we're used to. Levi is a carry-oriented jungler at his best. And with this new roster, that may end up being what they have to do regardless. But prior to that, he was not getting as much resources in the early game as he had in the past. 3 solo kills, 12 champions played, and that's evident in his champion usage. In the 40 games, Rel, Vi, Maokai, his 3 most played. If Rel is your most played, you are not a carry-oriented jungler anymore. 27 and 39 internationally over his career, and he does stand his ground. He is very, very talented. 2.3 KDA, 5.5 CS per minute, 71.3 KP. 1.05 damage divided by gold, so he steps up. Not all junglers have a positive damage output when it comes to gold at international events. Oftentimes they are playing facilitators and things like that. It kind of goes to show you just how much damage Levi does deal on the international stage. On average, he's ahead of his opponent. 100 gold, 8 CS, 220 XP, 9 solo kills in 66 games. So when he goes to this stage, more often than not, he is ahead. And that is huge. Minor region players tend to not do that. And Levi is a couple camps ahead. And that includes many different metas against many very, very good junglers. Mid lane is Emo. At 18 years old, Emo played last year in Vietnam a bit. And then this year had to fill in after Blazes got the boot. Emo was okay. 4.6 KDA, 8.5 CS per minute, 61.9 KP. I mean, I'm not going to talk too much crap about him. He's getting put into a situation that he is not, in my opinion, all that ready for. 1.28 damage divided by gold, 21 gold share, 20 damage share, so not giving as much as he's getting. Down 50 gold, 11 CS, 55 XP at 15 minutes. You do not want to spot. If you're spotting your domestic opponent 11 CS, I don't know how bad it's going to be internationally. 2 solo kills, 6 champions played in 14 games. Talia, Akali, Nico, his 3 most played. Easy Love, 4.2 KDA. And by the way, if you didn't watch the 2 previous videos, I'm combining a lot of stats due to the Senna games, so bear with me here. 4.2 KDA, 67.8 KP, 1.58 damage divided by gold, 1 solo kill, 6 champions played in 13 games. Senna, his most played, followed by Callista and Smolder. Elio, the support, had a 4.1 KDA, 66.5 KP. 0.91 damage divided by gold, standard for a support. 2 solo kills, 9 champions played in 13 games. Nautilus and Renata, his only 2 he played more than once. Now, when we combine the 2, they have a 9.7 KDA, which isn't great. But then again, this is a hodgepodge Frankenstein roster, and like I said about mid lane, I'll say about bot lane, it's going to be rough. I think MSI is going to be struggle street for this organization. 37 gold share, 35.3 damage share. On average, domestically was up about 50 gold, down a handful of CS, up 85 XP. So, meh, as far as I'm concerned, at 15 minutes, which, given that they're coming off the street and playing together in the case of Easy Love, alongside Elio, it's pretty good. But at the same time, international teams are not just going to give you a break because, you just had your 80 carry and mid laner booted off the team and this or that. They're going to play you just like they play anybody else. So, I mean, GAM are no slouch on the top side of the rift, but there's a lot of question marks here. Coach is Archie. Archie has never been a coach at an international event. He has been to 3 events as a player in 3 different roles. He probably, without double checking, I would not be surprised if he's the only player in history to play 3 different roles at international events. And it's not like he played 2 different ones at the same event. It looks like he played top in one, bot in one, and support in another. Where I don't think you're going to find that for anybody else. So, That's something interesting. We'll see how he does as a coach. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.